Okay. I think we are live.
Let
Can
me.
you can you check this out?
Yeah, I'm checking. Yeah, it seems like we are live. Yep, I can see your desktop and the bears
Okay.
and you.
So, hello everyone. It's Shimon from Prognetics, and today I will be leading our meeting about creating a SAGA library. With me is Krzysztof, as always. So,
I'm in the background, guys. Hey.
yeah. So today you can see me, not Krzysztof. And what is the topic of today's stream? Uh, Let me show you the um, um, our project view of not secure res, it's Saga, yes, and uh, issues, and I um, so I worked on or a layer of abstraction over the queue. So it's the issue 8, and let's
Hmm.
get into it. And it's briefly described. It's just a layer of abstraction over the queue. So we want to create some interfaces, some ways to interact with our orchestrator and interact. Uh, and this interaction will be done with be from the queues. For example, what we want. Let me see what we want. Integrate first. Mm, it's project view. I prefer this view, to be honest. And board. Yeah, so here we have to do, in fact, it's in progress, and uh, and first we want to integrate RabbitMQ plugin, but it's for the next step.
Hmm.
Right now, I wanted to create an abstraction to uh, have a way to integrate uh, other queues. So I create first. I create some sort of um, schema diagram on
Oh wow,
our mirror.
you came prepared.
Uh, and it's simple, but I think it's good to show what my idea is.
Hmm.
So uh, my idea is we have iSaga engine. Let's say it's our hmm, let's say the most important component, which is the part of orchestrator, the main part, and it's process the messages. So the input is input message and output is output message simply. So
Hmm.
Saga Engine will use iSaga Store to track the transaction state and update it, and
Hmm.
use I named it iSaga model, and it's create from configuration, and this Saga model will have definitions for transaction steps. Yeah, so there are instruction the how to um, you know, go from move from one message to another message. Uh, so Saga Engine is simply responsible for, let's say, redirect from one message to another message, and persistent this in Saga Store. I mean, the consequences of this uh, in this step. And we want to somehow interact with this Saga engine. So I came up with an idea to use something like internal queue. So I named it Saga Q, and Saga Q, as you can see, use iSaga engine, and also
Mm-hmm.
has a subscribers list, because I decided to create Saga queue as a normal queue, and you can push the messages into queue, and then
Mm-hmm.
Saga Engine will process the message, and if the message will be processed, then it will be um, sent to other subscribers, and and it is this is the mm, let's say our internal queue, and to create a plugin uh, for this queue. It will be like simply injecting this interface into our let's say adapter class, for example MQ Saga Q, and to if our if the external queue will receive a message, then it will push the message, and about subscribe, this will be executed by our adapter on the very beginning, uh, to passes the uh, actions, how to translate messages from the queue to to uh, to our external queue. And I prepared some mm, little code sample, so it will be something like that. So we have engine, which, process the message. We receive the output, and we go for each subscriber and pass the output. So
Okay,
first, mhm.
Simon, sorry that I will break in.
Yeah, yeah,
Can we? Because
mhm.
I don't really remember the task. Can we can we check the description of the task? What did we write there?
This, yes.
Yeah.
So it's a layer of abstraction over the queue. Related
Okay.
to the plugin task, this is on the side of the orchestrator. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the uh, let's say our entry point. I understand it like that. We want to define some sort of entry point for our orchestrator, and
That would be so we are kind of now do we are what is this the name of this step in the process in the Scrum. We are making a refinement of this task
mm-hmm,
basically because uh what I meant when we defined this task is if we can go back to your schema
mm-hmm,
just so I have a grasp over it. So I imagined that that we are creating an interfaces. So I guess that you actually did create them.
Yes.
that will allow us to push the messages to specific queues or to different queues, and to subscribe to different
Yes.
queues to receive the messages. So I think we actually have a common understanding of what should be done, and what are we doing, correct?
Yes. Yes. So I prepared some interfaces, as you can see, but I prepared some extra no, implementation, let's say, to better understand how this will be working.
Because
Uh,
just what I would how I would just imagine it in terms of going broader, and
mhm,
I think you will answer this right away, because I imagine that we do have this iSaga queue and engine,
mhm,
and I believe that this interface in the end might be well used by a class, and this class, for example, will be integrated with RabbitMQ. So in
yes,
the end, we are able to use the RabbitMQ library that will have iSaga queue, and the orchestrator will understand that there is such interface and will be able to pick it up
yes,
to connect to this specific queue, right?
yes, yes, yes. So, and so maybe I will say something uh, about abstract, let's say, base abstract class that we
Mm-hmm.
could use to, let's say, could use to um, enforce some type of uh, interface in our adapters, but I think that in um, let's say our this base class will have to use Saga Engine, and I want
Mm-hmm.
to hide Saga Engine into internals. I don't want to expose a Saga Engine, so I decided
Okay.
to
Okay.
not create abstract class because
Mm-hmm.
it will expose this iSaga engine. I think it's no, it's not needed.
And
Uh,
the engine, it has like those two arrows then, because I cannot see that.
yeah, and
What's
yeah,
on the right then?
it's
There is a
iSaga Store,
store and a model.
iSaga model. Yes, so it's just let's say a first version prototype, so it's not the hmm, say final naming. It's
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah, yeah.
saying that we just want to persist and read configuration. Mm, I mean, the
Do you
Saga
think
engine
that
will.
should be, do you think that this should be, uh, wait, let me kind of process, because what
Mhm.
in this scenario, what is the responsibility of the engine? I mean,
Engine.
yeah.
It's to get input message and return output message. So it's like we want to process input message and we want to get output message. So it's like we can and we so it's like redirection of the the messages. But uh, 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 let's say redirection is also defined in Saga model, but we also want to track the state of transaction, and this will be also, and that's why we will be using also the iSaga store. So the
But
responsible, yes.
this is what
Mm-hmm,
like this is what I'm thinking about now.
mm-hmm,
Because why are we at this stage discussing the order of what should be sent when, and the transactions, and storing this parts, let's say, because uh, I don't think necessarily that this is the right stage, because the idea of the task is just to create something that will cover up the uh, particular implementation of integration with certain queue. So
Mm-hmm.
what I mean is that from the programming perspective, I imagine I would like to have the ability for the uh, from the programming perspective, I would like to have the ability to uh, like in Serilog, that I would define the specific, in their nomenclature it's sync, so a
Mm-hmm.
place that the logs are being put on or put to, and in our case is which kind of queue we are using. And then uh, I'm thinking it's not the responsibility of this layer of abstraction to make decision on the store or any other thing, apart from it should just be able to send and receive message from
I mean,
and that
a
should be covered
Saga
by.
engine will not send messages. This will
Mhm,
Saga queue, but Saga queue will use Saga engine.
mhm,
Engine. So Saga engine simply just uh, get the message, checking what's the state of transaction, translate into the next message, and return it. And then Saga queue will mm, notify every subscriber that mm, message can be sent, and our subscriber will be, for example, MQ Q. So
mhm.
it will receive that this message will be is ready to send, and just simply translate it into the um, model of MQ. Yes.
Okay, okay, I see. Mhm,
Hmm.
mhm.
Yeah. So this will only, you know, track and. Mhm.
But at this stage, I mean, would the what in what part would the engine be? Would it be in this layer of abstraction in the orchestrator side,
Yes.
or
I mean, it
okay,
will be in orchestration, and this all is an orchestrator right now, but uh, this will be only public interface. Uh,
right?
so
Mm-hmm,
so from our plugin perspective, it will only uh, it will only push and subscribe to our queue.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Uh, and I think it's very simple, because let's see how we can mq .net. I checked this out how to oh my god, uh,
You
RabbitMQ.
mean Rabbit
Yeah,
MQ?
RabbitMQ, yes. Then we have let's check it out how to uh, consume and publish messages. So here we have channel basic publish. As maybe so if maybe let's start with consuming, because it will be our
Mm-hmm,
first step.
mm-hmm,
So yes, it's retrieving messages. So the idea is that we have a consumer, and if we received something, then we want to, do something like that. And here, I imagine that it will be the invoking the iSaga Q push. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So here we want to push message when we get some data from our message. We create input message and pass it into push iSaga Q. And what about publishing messages? So if we want to publish message, uh, we uh, on the start we want to subscribe, and in the action we will pass the action that will publish. Of course, first it will have to translate output message into the message body bytes,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and then will basic publish.
Okay, so I think or you just mixed one thing because
Hmm.
going back to the RabbitMQ, we have push and subscribe. Those are our public methods. So the channel.basic publish would be the first method, which is called push, right?
So it will be
So we
used
would,
where we receive message, and this will be used for publishing message. I mean, it's we have the.
isn't it the other way around? Shouldn't we use push for sending and subscribe for receiving?
I think it's correct because we just want to get message and send to our message, so it's like a middleware. So I think it's logically that we want to get message and push it into our internal queue. What do you think? It's not so clear for you, or
Yeah, it's not clear. It's not
mm-hmm,
clear for me because we are okay, so we are receiving and you are saying that we would like to push it right away somewhere. And this
mm-hmm,
part is correct, but what okay, going back that I think this will be more clear what I mean with
mm-hmm,
integrating the queue. So if you go back to the RabbitMQ, like the
mm-hmm,
tab, right?
mm-hmm,
And we have this whole part of the code that defines on how to publish a message. So I imagine that those methods that you are defining in an interface, so for example, a method to send something will be this entire code, right? So
mm-hmm.
we are creating a class that will implement this interface, and the body of this class will be this entire thing used to publish messages on the
I
queue.
mean, uh,
And
uh,
then
mm-hmm,
let me finish
mm-hmm,
so I can describe the whole flow. And when you scroll down to subscribing to the messages, I would imagine that that we are not using this in a specific, I don't know where it is, retrieving message. You have to scroll a bit more.
okay, retrieving, yes.
Yeah. So you said that in here you would put in here some kind of you said you would like to push here
Yes,
or
I
as
just
far
want
as I remember.
here. I
And
want to use uh, this. Oh, no, push. Yes. So
yeah,
I imagine
because
that. Hmm.
you would like to push because I think we are or I am mixing something because I imagine that the when we are creating an abstraction layer, so we
Hmm.
want to kind of create a bridge or a proxy to
Yes.
speak in terms of design patterns. So I think that would be called a proxy or a facade that we want to hide this code, like literally the whole black box, from my
Mm-hmm.
perspective, is subscribe. So under the when I would call the method subscribe, I would like to know that I'm using RabbitMQ underneath because I'm using this specific NuGet package uh,
Mm-hmm.
for integration with RabbitMQ. But when I use your interface, so for example, the subscribe, I imagine that this code is there, the whole black box, because it's used for subscribing. So I would like to subscribe to a specific message, for example. So I don't want to go and copy this code over. I want to specifically have it covered by this whole thing.
So maybe if
Or
you have,
maybe I misunderstand something.
I mean, this interface will be used for plugin, but uh, in the code, I mean, in the client code, it will be used an uh, interface from the plugin, not this. Uh, uh, but I'm not sure that this is the point. Maybe you want to draw something in Miro to show your
Mm,
idea, because uh, to be honest,
okay.
I
Can
don't
you
I don't know how to wrap everything into interface, because our entry point starting here, so I cannot wrap this into the let's say interface, because this is very specific data. I and
channel and EA. EA is, as far as I understand, because in here what is happening, the that you have a consumer and it's you're subscribing to an event
mhm,
received, and you're passing a function with ch, which is, I imagine, channel, and then
mhm.
EA, which is the message, I believe.
Yes,
I don't remember. I didn't
yeah.
do that for quite
I
some time.
I think it's the message.
So from I didn't really think about this, but maybe this
Hmm.
is what I'm missing here. So let's imagine.
Maybe I should show you
Mm,
how it will be worked in my perspective with
okay, yeah,
with the plugin. Maybe that will be useful. So I prepared some code ready in the um, Visual Studio,
because
and
maybe I don't understand because I'm
yeah,
looking at this from like I'm looking at the whole picture. I
yeah,
mean,
and let's say we want to uh, create uh, rabbit MQ saga key, something like that, and uh, in the constructor will be the e saga q. We need to create a reference, and I believe some sort of configuration of the rabbit MQ, but let's not write this right now because it's not so important. And
mhm.
I believe it's like maybe I will install the rabbit MQ. uh, NuGet packages. Rabbit client, yes. Hmm. Okay, now let's say how to.
Okay, now I understand now.
No, you understand, yeah.
I
So,
think I think I it just clicked when I started thinking about this because
and
uh
now, if we
I
want
I
to,
I see that you want to have this it actually makes sense. You want to have this specific implementation inside the RabbitMQ uh
maybe the
NuGet as a whole,
yes.
meaning that you will have this NuGet specific code in here, but then our facade would be those two interfaces, which in the end are passing either a subscriber that we want to define, or we are having a message that we want to send.
Mm-hmm.
That is, and this is being passed by an interface from the from the orchestrator. I
Yeah.
see. Right?
Okay.
Am I saying correct things now or not? Because I
Yeah.
think this is what you said at the
Yes,
beginning.
yes,
So,
yes. I think you uh,
all
get
right,
it.
I see. Okay, that makes more sense. So you're having a RabbitMQ specific code
Yes.
inside the RabbitMQ specific NuGet, let's say
Yes.
it, and then you are making it aware of the
And I'm
interface that will.
integrating with iSaga Q, and on I don't want to use maybe constructor, because maybe this will uh, you know, maybe we should use the asynchronous code here. So maybe we want to create something like public async task. Oh my god, async task setup or something like that. To subscribe and define those
But then remember
integrate.
that everything that you do in here in the RabbitMQ, like
Hmm.
this, if you do any setup method, you need to define it also
In
in
this,
the
yes,
interface,
yeah,
because you will need to call it from the orchestrator,
yes,
like
yes.
from
Of
within an
course,
orchestrator.
I'm aware of it. I mean, I know that I shouldn't, uh, you know, I shouldn't expect that user will invoke setup by himself or herself.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that this setup will have to be, uh, you know, used in somehow, but it will have to be invoked by this library. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I know it. Yeah, so basically that's my idea, and I'm happy that you understand it. And
It took me a
uh,
while.
yeah, but maybe I know that it's maybe not so clear in this picture, because it would be maybe more clear if I,
What I'm
create
missing.
some boundary and
Yeah, that's
uh,
exactly that's
uh-huh.
what I maybe we can add them so we
Yeah,
are
yeah, I
because
create right now.
basically we are creating a documentation. So because that's what I wanted to ask you, so we can create the boundaries so it's better understandable what is on which side, which is
Yes.
on the orchestrator, which is on the specific package, etc. So
So here, um, orchest orchestrator,
yep.
and here we will have a um, RabbitMQ plugin, or just
Mm-hmm.
plugin, but okay, let's say this specific plugin. and we will have no, why it's so thick? Maybe let's, oh, here, and no, and this, yes, and here we will have a RabbitMQ adapter that will use this, and this, and here we have this. Yes, so it will translate messages from RabbitMQ. It will pass to SAGA queue. Yes, and now it's more clear for you, I believe. Or maybe I should, I don't know, add something more.
Nope. From my perspective, wait, let me think about this. A second.
Maybe I will continue. How to create a channel. Factory, by connection. Create more. iModel channel. Okay. So let's say we have channel. Channel. Let's say basic received, or how to define it. No. Oh yes, received, and we want to create consumer. Okay. First, this. So we have a consumer, and consumer have event received, and we want to have those two arguments, and this will use SAGA queue to push them for input message, and I believe we will get this from EA body dot 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 how it was defined, okay, to array, so it will be array of the bytes, yeah, because it's read-only memory. Okay, let's say to array, and here we'll have bytes.
So correct me, Jess, if I'm wrong. So if there would be a dependency injection set up, basically what one would need is that we would define that RabbitMQ adapter is implementing SAGA queue, and then it would be just injected wherever the iSAGA queue is needed.
Yes.
Okay.
To adapter, and adapter we have access to iSAGA queue and can pass messages from
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
RabbitMQ
makes sense.
to our
Mm-hmm.
Saga queue. Yeah, and it I don't really see better solution for when communication with queue is uh, in this way. I mean, in the
I'm just
using the
wondering. I'm just
event-based solution.
I'm just
And mhm,
wondering. I'm just wondering about how to set up DI over this, or if this is our
mhm,
trouble later on, because uh, this process or this listener, this
mhm,
consumer, I imagine that it needs to be a single thread, or
mhm,
this needs to be in a single thread that will not be killed. Like it has to go on
mhm.
because it should just keep listening on the queue. And
Yes. So
just the cases if other queues are also like that, and do we handle this here or somehow, or do we handle it another way? But hmm,
yeah, but you're referring to DI. I mean, uh, do you consider it like as singleton or maybe something different? Because
I would
right now it have to be singleton, I think.
I would consider it like that. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
it needs to be run. It needs to be run once.
Yes.
The listener, from my perspective, the subscribe or this listener, this consumer received should be created on a in a well, you're creating this on a constructor, so this is actually good.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
I mean, I would later transfer it probably to some kind of method, but in the end, it should be
Mm-hmm.
part of, as you said, setup method that is starting to listen.
Yeah. So. Hmm, it's something like that. And yes, so in the next days, I'm going to uh, some develop these ideas, explore how, some um, all the ideas, some details about it, about an implementation, but uh, I believe that abstraction is good enough, and I can
Yeah.
work in for this with this abstraction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes. So okay. So I have a plan. No, do you want to discuss something more, or we want to finish for today?
Well, from my perspective, we had this stream about you
Mm-hmm.
and your idea. From my perspective, I can apologize to our audience. I don't know if anyone is watching us, but at this point, but I didn't yet finish the actions. But I don't want to. I kind of want to have this. Maybe in more order, let's say the streams, and I want to discuss the actions when I will do actions stream, probably on Sunday. So
Mm-hmm.
because then if we just make a title to it, because we are not editing those videos and they are just as they are, so I don't want to cut it and later create another video from it. So I would just make it on another video on how I would like to handle and what I missed, because I believe I missed some things in actions on the GitHub, so I would like to discuss it there.
Mm-hmm.
The cases, if you would like to discuss something, because I started talking about how this should be, well, set up, or how this should be well used, but this is from probably from the perspective of orchestrator. So probably this is also not on this topic, but this might be connected somehow because uh well
I think.
but this is also part of another tasks to define on how this should be used inside the
Mm-hmm. Mm,
because I believe now you are actually making two issues or two tasks at once
um,
because
yeah,
you
I
should
mean,
make it
I made this. I wrote this code to, as I mentioned, to better understand the idea. Yeah, because so I started with abstraction, but to check if it's right direction, I wrote some code to uh, uh, mm, yeah to check this. So yeah, we can say that this is two tasks at once. Uh,
from
yeah.
what I would do is either I would close them both simultaneously, or to keep it everything in order, I would
Hmm.
probably exclude the changes with the actual NuGet implementation, and I would just make a pull request for the abstract part, and then close the task, and then move to NuGet
Yeah.
implementation because
Yeah.
this will just be
Let's
clean.
see what we have here because on our board. Because we have, yeah, what I showed today, it was a layer of abstraction over the queue, and mm, orchestrator receives an event also, and RabbitMQ
And the
plugin.
plugin, yeah,
But
even three.
I, I were not so deep into those two tasks. It was, let's say, the for help purposes to better understanding this. Yes, to show the how to will interact this with this abstraction. So uh, I will first I will push to the our repository code which is
Mm-hmm.
related with this task.
Mm-hmm.
Then I will start. I don't know. I will let's say our first version of RabbitMQ plugin
Mm-hmm.
with basic implementation because maybe there are some mm, use cases that I don't see right now, so it will be the first implementation that will contain consuming the message and uh, publishing messages
Yeah.
and and then I will create this engine which is a part of orchestrator which is an event. Yes.
Okay.
um, I mean the implementation of orchestrator because as you can see I oh no here I will create an implementation also of the saga queue. I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Here I will have only
The
interfaces,
interfaces.
and
Yeah.
here I will. Okay, so I think that it's the right direction, and yeah, I believe it will not take me a lot of time. Mm, yes, so that's my
Okay.
plan. Do you want?
Okay.
Oh yeah. So you said about
Sounds good.
your plan. And my plan is also described. So I think we can finish for today.
Yeah.
One.
Let's wrap up then. Thank you, Simon. It was you came greatly prepared, and
Yeah.
let's see how it goes. I
Yes.
will. I promise that I will do my part very soon. But it's very hard for me. I was at home 10 minutes before the stream. So
You know, tough
this is
times.
this is
Everyone
just how
knows.
it is, guys. This
Yeah.
is just how it is. It will be better, but we promise to keep it going and we want to deliver because I can actually tell you, Shimon, that lately I had a technical interview and there was a person that where they are actually creating a microservices solution, and they were he was speaking a bit about Saga,
Mm-hmm.
and I told him to watch our stream, or at least uh, why we selected the how is it called? Because we had two choices, right? We could
Mm-hmm.
select one or the other. Let me
Mm-hmm.
check quickly.
You
Because
mean the orchestration and
yeah, the orchestration and wait,
choreography?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Choreography and orchestration, and we had a like brief discussion why we selected this one. But I
Mm-hmm.
told him to watch the stream, so maybe he can get something from it because, well, I think we made certain points, so it definitely someone can benefit from what we are doing here.
Yeah. Mm. Okay. So thank you everyone, and see you next week.
Yep.
And
See ya.
see you.
Bye
Bye. And
bye.
like and subscribe, of course.
Exactly. We forgot
Uh,
about this. Like and subscribe. Yeah.
so.